Art mode. Childhood, strict discipline, and the Jackson Namera. Early life in Gary, Indiana. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, an industrial town near Chicago. He was the eighth of 9 children born to Joseph Joe Jackson and Catherine Jackson. The family lived modestly in a small 2-bedroom house at 2300 Jackson Street. Joe Jackson worked as a crane operator at a local steel mill and played guitar in a local band called the Falcons, while Catherine was a homemaker who introduced church and country music to the children. The formation of the family band. The musical journey of the Jackson children started by accident. Joe discovered that his sons were playing his guitar behind his back while he was at work. In the mid-1960s, Joe formed a musical group with his 3 oldest sons, Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine. 5-year-old Michael showed extraordinary talent in imitating famous R&B singers like James Brown and Jackie Wilson, possessing a sense of rhythm far beyond his years. Michael and his younger brother Marlon eventually joined, with Michael taking over as the lead vocalist. Joe Jackson's training methods. Joe Jackson acted as a manager who enforced strict discipline and intense training regimen. Hours of practice. The Jackson children practiced singing and dancing for up to 5 hours a day after school. Standards of perfection. Every mistake in movement or vocal pitch was met with harsh reprimands and physical punishment from Joe. A lost childhood. Michael lost his childhood playtimes, as his entire schedule was dedicated to rehearsals and performing in nightclubs across the Midwest, known as the Chitlin Circuit. Entering the industry, the Motown Records era, after winning local talent shows and releasing their debut single, Big Boy, under the independent label, Stilltown Records in 1967. The Jackson 5 caught the attention of major artists, including Gladys Knight and Bobby Taylor. The Motown Audition, 1968. The Jackson 5 auditioned directly in front of Motown Records founder, Berry Gordy Jr., in Detroit. Gordy was blown away by Michael's stage presence and mature vocals despite his small stature. Marketing strategy. Motown signed them in 1969 and framed a narrative that the group was discovered by superstar Diana Ross to build massive public interest. International chart dominance, 1969 to 1975. Under the guidance of Motown's songwriting and production team, the corporation, the Jackson 5, made music history. 4 consecutive #1 singles. Their first 4 singles sequentially reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. Jackson Mania. Their popularity sparked a cultural phenomenon. Their images appeared on cereal boxes, magazines, and even inspired a Saturday morning animated series on ABC. Michael's solo debut. Recognizing Michael's solo potential, Motown released his debut solo albums, Got to Be There, 1971, and Ben, 1972. The song Ben, a ballad about a pet rat, became Michael's first solo #1 single and earned an Academy Award nomination. Part 2. Leaving Motown, the transition, and meeting Quincy Jones. Disputes with Motown and the move to Epic Records. By the mid-1970s, the Jackson 5's popularity under Motown began to wane due to repetitive music formulas. Michael and his brothers wanted to write and produce their own music, but Motown founder Berry Gordy refused to grant them creative freedom. In 1975, the group made a bold decision to leave Motown and sign a new deal with Epic Records, a subsidiary of CBS Records. This move triggered legal battles, losing the Jackson 5 name. Motown owned the rights to the name Jackson 5, forcing the group to officially change their name to the Jacksons. Lineup change. Jermaine Jackson chose to stay at Motown because he was married to Berry Gordy's daughter, Hazel. Jermaine was replaced by their youngest brother, Randy Jackson. creative freedom at Epic Records. Under Epic, the Jacksons gained full control over their work. Michael began honing his skills as a primary songwriter through the albums Destiny, 1978, and Triumph, 1980. Michael wrote hit tracks like Blame It on the Boogie and Shake Your Body, Down to the Ground. This success proved that Michael was not just a child star, but a mature composer and artist. The turning point, the movie, The Wiz, 1978. In 1977, Michael landed the role of the Scarecrow in the musical film The Wiz, an all-black adaptation of The Wizard of Oz. This became a crucial turning point in his career. Meeting Quincy Jones on the movie set, Michael collaborated with legendary producer Quincy Jones, who served as the film's musical director. Building the connection. Impressed by Quincy's dedication, Michael asked him for producer recommendations for his upcoming adult solo album. Quincy replied, "Why don't you let me do it?" The birth of the album Off the Wall, 1979, the first collaboration between Michael Jackson and Quincy. Jones produced Off the Wall, released in August 1979 when Michael was 21 years old. Musical innovation. The album blended disco, pop, soft rock, and R&B funk with meticulous vocal production standards. Major hits. It produced legendary tracks like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, written by Michael himself, earning his first solo Grammy, and Rock With You. New records. Off the Wall became the first solo album in history to generate 4 top 10 singles on the Billboard Hot 100 simultaneously. Although Off the Wall sold over 20 million copies and was a critical triumph, Michael was disappointed that it didn't win Album of the Year at the 1980 Grammy Awards. This disappointment fueled his ambition to create an album that would break every record on earth. Part 3. The Explosive Era of Thriller, 1982. The MTV Video Revolution and the debut of the Moonwalk, the creation of Thriller, 1982. Fueled by his disappointment over Off the Wall not winning Album of the Year at the Grammys, Michael returned to the studio with Quincy Jones in 1982 with a single goal: to create an album where every song was a killer track. Released on November 30th, 1982, Thriller merged pop, rock, R&B, and funk in a way the music industry had never seen before. Crossing genre lines, Michael brought on legendary rock guitarist Eddie Van Halen to play the iconic guitar solo on Beat It, seamlessly bridging the gap between black R&B, pop, and white rock radio stations. Masterful songwriting. Michael personally wrote 4 of the 9 tracks, including Billie Jean, Beat It, and Wanna Be Starting Something, historic chart performance. Out of the 9 songs on the album, 7 were released as singles, and all 7 reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. Thriller quickly became, and remains to this day, the best-selling album of all time worldwide, breaking barriers on MTV. In the early 1980s, MTV was a young cable channel that almost exclusively played music videos by white rock artists. Michael single-handedly dismantled this racial barrier. Billie Jean, the sleek, cinematic video forced MTV to put a black artist in heavy rotation for the first time, opening doors for future generations of minority musicians. Beat It, directed by Bob Giraldi. This video featured actual Rival Street Gang members alongside professional dancers, setting a new standard for story-driven music videos. Motown 25 and the debut of the Moonwalk, May 1983. On May 25, 1983, during the television special Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever, Michael performed solo after a reunion set with his brothers. Wearing a black sequined jacket, a silver rhinestone glove, and white socks, he performed Billie Jean. During the bridge of the song, Michael glided backward across the stage, executing the moonwalk for the first time on global television. The performance was watched by over 47 million viewers and cemented his status as a global pop icon. The Thriller short film, December 1983, Michael elevated music videos into a true art form by collaborating with film director John Landis for a 40-minute mini-movie for the title track, Thriller, featuring movie-grade special effects makeup, a theatrical storyline, and Michael's iconic red leather jacket. The zombie dance sequence became a cultural phenomenon. It became the first music video inducted into the National Film Registry by the U.S. Library of Congress for its cultural significance. Grammy Sweep, 1984. At the 26th Annual Grammy Awards in February 1984, Michael's vision was fully validated. He arrived wearing his iconic dark sunglasses and a gold-detailed jacket, taking home an unprecedented 8 Grammy Awards in a single night, including Album of the Year. Part 4. The Bad Era, 1987. Massive world tours and peak stardom, the pressure after Thriller. Following the unprecedented global success of Thriller, the expectation on Michael Jackson was immense. Instead of rushing a follow-up, Michael took nearly 5 years to craft his next move, aiming to prove that his success was not a one-time fluke. The release of Bad, 1987. Released in August 1987, Bad marked Michael's final studio collaboration with producer Quincy Jones. The album showcased a darker, edgy, and more streetwise aesthetic, featuring harder dance beats and rock influences. Songwriting dominance. Michael asserted complete creative control by writing 9 out of the album's 11 tracks, including Smooth Criminal, The Way You Make Me Feel, Dirty Diana, and Man in the Mirror. Historic chart record. Bad became the first album in history to yield 5 consecutive singles on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, a record that stood unbroken for decades. The Bad World Tour, 1987 to 1989. To support the album, Michael embarked on his first-ever solo world tour, global scale, spanning 16 months. The tour visited 15 countries, played at 123 concerts, and was attended by over 4.4 million fans. Wembley record. During his stop at Wembley Stadium in London, Michael sold out 7 nights, playing to 504,000 people. A record-breaking feat commemorated in music history. Economic impact. The tour grossed over $125 million, making it the highest-grossing and most attended solo tour in history at the time. Cinematic innovations and the anti-gravity lean. Michael continued to push visual storytelling through his short films. Bad short film, directed by legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese. The 18-minute short film co-starred a young Wesley Snipes and brought a gritty, Broadway-style edge to pop music, Smooth Criminal, and The Lean. In the short film for Smooth Criminal, Michael introduced the famous 45-degree anti-gravity lean. To perform this live on stage during future tours, Michael co-invented and patented a special shoe mechanism that locked into the stage floor. Moonwalker, 1988. Michael starred in a feature-length anthology film combining music videos, concert footage, and narrative storytelling, further solidifying his visual identity. Part 5. The Dangerous Era, 1991. Super Bowl halftime and humanitarian legacy, a new sound. Dangerous, 1991. Entering a new decade, Michael updated his musical direction by working with producer Teddy Riley, the pioneer of the new jack swing genre, a blend of R&B, hip-hop beats, and pop. Released in November 1991, Dangerous became a massive commercial hit, selling over 32 million copies worldwide. Black or White, the lead single, featured a hard rock guitar riff played by Slash from Guns N' Roses. Its iconic music video introduced groundbreaking morphing visual effects and was premiered simultaneously across 27 countries to an estimated audience of 500 million people. Artistic diversity. Tracks like Remember the Time, In the Closet, and Jam highlighted modern dance grooves, while Heal the World reflected his deep commitment to humanitarian causes. Redefining live entertainment, Super Bowl 27, 1993. On January 31, 1993, Michael performed at the Super Bowl 27 halftime show in Pasadena, California. The turning point. Before this event, Super Bowl halftime shows featured marching bands and local performance groups. Michael was the first superstar booked to boost TV ratings. The dramatic opening. Michael popped up onto the half stage and stood completely motionless for nearly 2 full minutes while 100,000 stadium fans cheered continuously. TV record. His performance drew over 133 million domestic viewers, making it one of the most watched events in American television history and forever changing the Super Bowl halftime show into a premier global entertainment spectacle. Humanitarian efforts and heal the world. Beyond his musical career, Michael dedicated a significant portion of his wealth and platform to philanthropy. Heal the World Foundation. Founded by Michael in 1992, the charity organization provided relief aid to children in war-torn regions, funded medical supplies, and supported underprivileged youth worldwide. The Dangerous World Tour. Michael donated 100% of his personal profits from the entire Dangerous World Tour directly to his charity foundation and other humanitarian causes. Guinness Record. He was officially recognized by the Guinness World Records for supporting 39 different charities, the most by any pop star in history. Part 6. The I Story Era, 1995. Massive Visual Concepts, An Invincible, 2001. The double album event, His Story, 1995. In June 1995, Michael released His Story, Past, Present and Future, Book 1, an ambitious 2-disc project. Disc 1 featured a compilation of his greatest hits, while Disc 2 contained 15 brand new tracks. It remains the highest-selling multi-disc album by a solo artist in history. Anger and personal expression. The new tracks reflected a raw, defensive, and introspective Michael Jackson. Songs like Scream, a duet with his sister Janet Jackson, They Don't Care About Us, and Stranger in Moscow addressed press scrutiny, injustice, and isolation. Scream video. Directed by Mark Romanek, the futuristic, monochrome music video cost $7 million to produce, earning a Guinness World Record as the most expensive music video ever made. Earth Song, combining gospel, opera, and pop rock. This track became one of his biggest international anthems, topping charts across Europa with its powerful message about environmental destruction and war. The A Story World Tour, 1996-1997. Michael took his live spectacle to an even larger global scale. Massive audience, spanning 82 concerts across 35 countries. The tour reached over 4.5 million fans, becoming his most attended tour ever. Monumental promotions. The album release was famously promoted with massive 30-foot steel statues of Michael placed in major cities across Europe, including London, Paris, and Prague. The final studio album, Invincible, 2001. In October 2001, Michael released his 10th and final studio album, Invincible. Modern production. Working with producers like Rodney Jerkins, Darkchild, and Teddy Riley, Michael incorporated contemporary R&B, hip-hop, and urban pop sounds on tracks like You Rock My World and Butterflies. Industry conflict. Despite selling millions of copies worldwide and reaching one in over 12 countries, the album's promotion was cut short due to a high-profile public dispute between Michael and his record label, Sony Music, over contract terms and promotion budgets. 30th Anniversary Celebration, September 2001. Just days before the release of Invincible, 2 star-studded concerts were held at Madison Square Garden in New York to celebrate Michael's 30th year as a solo artist. The shows featured performances by artists like Whitney Houston, Usher, and Beyoncé, as well as a historic on-stage reunion with his brothers, the Jacksons, performing their classic hits together for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Part 7. The This Is It rehearsals and the Ultimate Stage Vision, 2009. The announcement at the O2 Arena. In March 2009, Michael Jackson made a highly anticipated public appearance at the O2 Arena in London, before thousands of screaming fans and hundreds of international journalists. He announced his grand return to the stage with a residency show titled This Is It. Initially planned as a 10-show run, Massive Global Ticket Demand, selling out over 750,000 tickets in just 2 hours, prompted promoters to extend the engagement to 50 dates. A groundbreaking production concept, Michael set out to create a concert spectacle that would redefine live music performance for the modern era. A state-of-the-art technology. The production incorporated high-definition 3D visual backdrops, massive LED screens, custom pyrotechnics, and theatrical illusion props, reinventing the classics. Classic short films like Thriller and Smooth Criminal were completely reshot with new 3D cinematic footage featuring Michael seamlessly integrated into classic 1940s Hollywood noir films. Their creative team. Michael personally handpicked the legendary director, Kenny Ortega, as his co-director and assembled world-class musicians, vocalists, and an elite troupe of young dancers chosen from thousands of international auditions. Unprecedented rehearsal dedication from April to June 2009. Rehearsals took place at the Center Staging Studios in Burbank and later moved to the massive Staples Center in Los Angeles. Meticulous attention to detail. At 50 years old, Michael actively led every rehearsal, fine-tuning vocal arrangements, stage lighting, sound cues, and dance choreography down to the exact second. Peak artistic energy. Dancers and crew members recalled Michael's incredible stamina and passion on stage during his final full-scale dress rehearsals, proving that his vocal precision and signature dance moves remained as sharp as ever. The This Is It film legacy. In October 2009, high-definition rehearsal footage shot at the Staples Center was compiled and released as the documentary film Michael Jackson's This Is It. The film offered fans worldwide a rare, intimate look into Michael's creative genius, dedication, and perfectionism as an artist, becoming the highest-grossing concert film documentary in cinema history. Part 8. The musical legacy and enduring cultural impact. Redefining the boundaries of pop music. Michael Jackson didn't just participate in pop culture. He defined it by blending R&B, funk, rock, disco, gospel, and electronic pop. He destroyed the conventional boundaries between musical genres and created a universal sound that resonated across all age groups, races, and geographic borders. The blueprint for modern music videos. Before Michael, music videos were simply promotional clips of bands performing. He transformed them into high-budget mini-movies with complex storylines, cinematic choreography, and groundbreaking visual effects, establishing the modern music video format. Mastery of live performance. His legendary live shows transformed concert production forever by incorporating theatrical storytelling, illusions, synchronized group dancing, and high-tech stagecraft. He set the gold standard for global stadium tours. Dance, innovation, and signature style. Michael revolutionized the art of dance within mainstream pop music. He took street dance styles, popping, locking, and jazz, elevating them into iconic global symbols, the moonwalk and anti-gravity lean. Techniques like the backslide, which he refined into the moonwalk, and the 45-degree lean became instantly recognizable dance moves in human history. Visual identity. His fashion choices, the single white sequin glove, fedora hat, red leather jacket, and cropped trousers, revealing white socks, were meticulously designed to draw visual emphasis to his precise footwork and body movements on stage influence on subsequent generations. Michael Jackson's artistic footprint continues to shape contemporary music and performance. Countless global superstars across multiple genres attribute their career inspirations, vocal arrangements, and performance aesthetics directly to him, including Usher, Justin Timberlake, Beyoncé, Bruno Mars, Chris Brown, The Weeknd, and Ne-Yo, an unrivaled record in music history. With over 400 million records sold worldwide during his lifetime, 13 Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles, 13 Grammy Awards, an induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice as a member of the Jackson 5. And as a solo artist, Michael Jackson's status as the king of pop remains unchallenged in the history of global entertainment. Part 9. Epilogue. The endless magic and universal message, a universal language across borders. Beyond the records, the awards, the massive stadium tours, what made Michael Jackson a once-in-a-generation phenomenon was his rare ability to connect with people from every corner of the world, whether in North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Africa, or Oceania. Millions of fans who did not speak English fluently could sing every word to his songs and imitate his dance moves with precision. His music served as a universal bridge, transcending cultural, political, and language barriers. The philosophy of unity and healing. At the heart of Michael's artistic identity was a deep message of global peace, environmental awareness, and unity. Tracks like Man in the Mirror, Earth Song, Heal the World, and We Are the World were not just pop hits. They were global anthems that encouraged listener self-reflection and social responsibility. Michael believed that music possessed a unique healing power, capable of comforting people in dark times and inspiring positive change on a global scale. The unfading icon in digital era. Decades after his peak eras, Michael Jackson's presence remains as vibrant as ever in the digital age. His iconic music videos continue to generate billions of views on streaming platforms. His signature dance moves frequently trend across modern social media challenges. And new generations of young fans continue to discover his genius every single day. Michael Jackson did not merely build a career in pop music. He crafted a timeless legend that lives on through his art, proving that true magic and creativity never fade away. Part 10. Legendary collaborations and cinematic wonders. Unforgettable musical duets. Throughout his career, Michael Jackson joined forces with some of the biggest names in entertainment history, creating timeless duets that crossed musical genres. Paul McCartney, The Girl Is Mine, and Say Say Say. In the early 1980s, Michael teamed up with former Beatle Paul McCartney. Their collaborative tracks became instant radio hits, showcasing smooth harmonies and playful pop storytelling. Freddie Mercury sessions. Michael recorded unreleased studio demos with Queen's legendary frontman, Freddie Mercury, including early versions of State of Shock and There Must Be More to Life, and this, blending operatic rock vocals with Michael's soul style. Janet Jackson, Scream. Joining forces with his superstar sister Janet, Michael delivered a hard-hitting R&B industrial track aimed at media sensationalism, accompanied by their iconic synchronized dance routine in space. Innovative short films and Hollywood endeavors. Michael viewed music videos not as promotional tools, but as short films, cinematic shorts. He collaborated with Hollywood's top film directors to elevate his visual presentation. Captain EO, 1986. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, The Godfather, and executive produced by George Lucas, Star Wars. This 3D sci-fi short film was custom-built for Disney theme parks, featuring Michael as a space captain, spreading harmony through music and dance. Ghosts, 1996. Co-written with legendary horror author Stephen King and directed by special effects pioneer Stan Winston. This 39-minute short film featured Michael playing 5 different characters using groundbreaking sounds and prosthetics. The master of concept costumes. Michael worked closely with costume designers, Michael Bush and Dennis Tompkins, for decades to create a distinctive visual brand. Detail-oriented design. Every outfit, from the armbands symbolizing peace to the heavy metal buckles on his Bat-Tour, was custom engineered to catch stage lights and accentuate his physical dance movements. Functional fashion. Beyond aesthetics, his stage clothes were designed for maximum mobility, allowing him to execute lightning-fast turns, drops, and glides without restriction. Part 11. Revolutionary stagecraft and live concert magic. Pioneering modern stadium concert production. Long before giant LED screens and immersive stadium setups became standard in the music industry, Michael Jackson was reinventing the live concert experience. It transformed pop shows into full-scale theatrical productions, combining live music, illusion, and high-octane drama. The dramatic grand entrance, from popping up out of the stage floor surrounded by pyrotechnics during the Dangerous Tour, to flying into the stadium using a rocket-powered jetpack during the I Story Tour. Michael made sure his opening seconds left audiences completely mesmerized. Mastery of stage illusions, working alongside top Hollywood illusionists. Michael incorporated magic tricks directly into his performances. He famously disappeared inside a metallic box on stage, only to reappear seconds later on a high crane towering over thousands of cheering fans. The mechanical engineering behind the dance. Michael was not just a performer. He was an innovator who held actual mechanical patents to bring his creative visions to life. The anti-gravity patent, U.S. patent number 5,255,393, to perform the iconic 45-degree lean from Smooth Criminal. Live on stage, without ropes or wires. Michael co-invented a special shoe mechanism. The custom boots featured specially designed heels that locked into pegs, rising from the stage floor, allowing him and his dancers to lean forward beyond their center of gravity. Custom stage hydraulics. He utilized hydraulic lifts, movable cranes, and custom-built catwalks that extended deep into the audience, ensuring that even fans in the farthest stadium seats felt intimately connected to the performance. The power of live improvisation. While his choreography was rehearsed to absolute perfection, Michael's live performances were legendary for their spontaneous energy. Vocal, beatboxing, and ad-libs. On stage, Michael frequently stripped away background tracks to beatbox complex rhythms into the microphone,